everybody. Um, this is just kind of like a progress report. I don't think I've ever mentioned it, but tomorrow was actually today, but tomorrow was the kind of milestone we had to get to. I have a daughter that's going to be born C-section tomorrow. She's going to be born with what's called left heart syndrome. Basically, her left side of her heart doesn't function like the way it's supposed to, so she's going to have heart surgery or second or third day after being born. So because of that, I had always been shooting for this day, because it's been scheduled for a while, to get, the farmhouse, which is what we're calling it. It's not really a house, but the farmhouse, buttoned up, weather tight, the roof, at least a temporary roof on, something on the walls to keep the damage, and we got the windows and the sliding door in. So I actually got what I needed to get done, which is actually really cool, because it's a lot of work. I mean, it was a lot to get done in that short period of time. And this is a big thank you to everybody that came out to help, whether I paid you or not. Thank you, because it's one less thing I have to worry about while we're at the hospital for the next few days, is the place getting beaten up by the rain or the weather, where I have to go back and replace a lot of stuff. We put a lot of time and effort and money into this, so we wanted to get it squared away, just so like if I need a week where I ain't gonna be able to come back, I don't have to worry about the weather. So let me show you what we have done to this point. Hang on. Okay, so you can see a lot of the basics. This is the rain catch, which at some point, hopefully, if I can get enough resources, there's gonna be somewhat of a I call it maybe a garage or shed or something to enclose this and try to keep it down from freezing. I'm probably gonna put around it, probably close to the bottom, something like a gutter, in the winter to heat it up, to keep it from freezing. One of those cords, maybe like wrap it around the bottom. I've seen a 24-foot cord for like $30, and put a plug on the wall right there, and then maybe tarp it for whenever it freezes or whatever, and then that way we can still get access to the water without it being frozen. So that's just kind of like a short-term solution to before we get the actual building built. So we got the water catch set up to the downspout from the roof. So that's how we're going to do it with rain collection. We're going to get rain from the roof into the gutter, down into here, and then that's what we're going to use for our water for various things. There's going to be still stuff in the building process we need it for, and I don't think we're going to be drinking it or anything like that, but it's good to have that water source on hand, considering we don't have any city water around here. The deck right here. So those sides, those 2x10s, go almost all the way down. They go about 2/3 of the way down, sort of where my finger is on both sides, coming out, and then in the middle is the same. I think it's that one and that one. I think they're notched out. And they go back somewhat to the same distance. No, not really. They go, I think it's about 8-9 feet in, and they're notched. Notch on both sides with a whole bunch of glue. I'm gonna see if I can get away with not adding posts, just because I like the look, but I know that I'm gonna probably need them. Like, I really like it without it. I really like that it's just free floating. So because there's a lot of weight that's up there now, it's not moving. there's been a lot of weight up there before and it's not moving, but probably over time it's actually gonna probably want to. I just really like that it's out and without posts underneath. So I'm just giving it a shot to see, you know, if or when we may add, you know, cross brace goes across the bottom, and then, you know, 2 posts somewhat towards, you know, like maybe a third of the way in on both sides, to give it that strength so it doesn't sag. I already actually have the lumber for it. It's just, I don't want to do it, so I may not, but we'll see how it goes. I'm playing, you know, nothing's permanent here yet at all, so, you know. And then the chimney, that's just the stub out. It's actually going to go up the wall, but that's for the wood burner on the inside. Now, the inside, so I just did this a minute ago. I'd say maybe about a half an hour, 45 minutes ago. That's concrete stain on the floor. I've never done it before. It's supposed to be an amber color, and I know it looks a little, it might look a little funky right now, but it's going to change. It's going to change variations in colors, different things like that. And plus, whenever we put the clear coat on top, you know, it's going to give it a completely different look, because it's supposed to be a wet look. So it's supposed to be this stuff here. You see, like that amber? See how it looks? So it should, it's good. I know it doesn't look just like that, not yet, but I think we may be able to get something similar as far as look. And you know, it comes with, we get a sealer for it that I have, which is part of the reason why I wanted to do this instead of painting it, because I really like the idea of like the sealing it. So seal it up and it gets a like a glossy look, like a glossy wet look. And this is kind of like a rough finish on the floor, which is on purpose, because I suspect we're probably gonna, you know, it's not going to be taken extremely well taken care of. You know, this is just going to be a walkway to a set of steps, which if you look real close, you can see the steps are already drawn out on the wall. I wanted to make sure I had them laid out before I did anything. There's going to be 3 steps down here, 1, 2, 3, little platform, if you can see it on the wall, steps going up, and then actually at the top, around the second or third one from the top, there's going to be another platform that'll turn and take it in to the second floor up there. I'm going to get to that, but I wanted to do the whole floor with the stain and the sealer first. And I'm probably going to paint the walls a tan or beige or something like that, just to, you know, give it a nice clean look. The lights, that's from the solar. I put them in. That's probably where the lights are actually going to stay. That's where they're going to be. But they were temped in just so I could see, you know, what I was doing here. If you see that loop right there, it's plugged into a extension cord. That extension cord goes to the solar setup. So that roll of Romex at 12.2 that's hanging from the ceiling is actually going to jump either to another light, or that's going to be the light leg over here on the wall at the end of the steps. There's going to be a 3-way between there and here on this wall, and then another 3-way down there to the top of those steps. I don't want to walk on this right now, so I'm just going to go up the ladder on the outside. But I think once it gets its process all the way done, and then we get the sealer on it, I think it should look a little better. And then, like I said, that's the stub right there for the wood burner. We're going to put the wood burner right here on the floor, out a little bit. It's going to be a little tight down here. There's going to be a shower area here. It's like a walk-in shower that I had from when I remodeled my house. Sort of like an older person's type of shower. I figured why not reuse it, and I'm going to try to use it as sort of like a slop sink. We could put stuff in there to, it's going to have enough room, and put the shower head on like a hose, so that, you know, if we can use it why spend the money on something else, you know what I mean? So there's going to be like a shower stall here, and then another sink over there. So it'll get a little bit tight, and then the electrical stuff and all the solar stuff is going to be like on this wall and in that corner over there, right? It's going out of focus, but right at the tip of where my finger is, there's a cross on the wall. That's actually going to be where I mount the center of the breaker box. So I'm going to set it up for 100 amp outside on a mast system. I'm going to set it up just like you would regularly, so that, you know, if we want to, or, you know, I don't think we're going to sell the place anytime soon, but if I do, it'll be set up to be changed over to regular power. There'll be a 100 amp meter socket out here, which we won't be using, but it's just, you know, like I said, and then a mast going up right in between them two windows and up to the roof. So up to the roof, you can see there's 2 solar panels up there right now. That's for the temporary setup that I have right now. That's actually the one that I was using for the water pump. And because we're not doing that right now, I don't need it right now. I just decided to use it as temps for lights and for charging in the DeWalt batteries, which it works excellent at. I've been doing it for a week. The batteries haven't died at all yet once. There's only 2 panels up there. It's working great. So for now, that's a temporary setup. Now, that's only supposed to pull around 11 amps max. I have another setup that I'm going to incorporate those panels to, that I have another 4 for, with another 5 batteries that I have, which is supposed to bring 30 amps. That should be more than sufficient for this building. But like I said, this is just a temporary hookup. Now, the electric, I'm gonna have it set up so that, you know, it could easily be switched from solar to, you know, your regular line and load service on the outside of the house. I'm gonna make sure that it's set up for that, but we're gonna use it as solar. So once I do it, I'm gonna pull the solar wires down the mast pipe and then bring them in with everything else right there, and then into a breaker box, and then that's where I'm gonna convert it on the inside over to the solar. You know, I think it's a good idea to be able to go, you know, either one of those ways. Now, let's just go upstairs real quick. Yeah, this grate I got right here from the junkyard. Picked it up cheap. That's actually going to be on the floor over in that area above the heater, so that once we're burning wood, it will easily allow the heat to rise and heat this upstairs much of it easily. So even though that wood burner is downstairs, it's going to be way hotter up here than it is down there, because the heat rises and it's going to come up this step area and over there. So yeah, I think I've been predicting this, but I think we would be surprised how efficient that's going to be. Anyway, these are the steps. This is going to be the steps coming up. Come up the steps over here, make this turn. This is the small room that we're going to use. It's just a loft, like I had planned for, you know, in the beginning. It's not huge. It's 12 by 14, give or take. If you take out, you know, this step area, if you remove that from the plan, it's roughly 14 feet, give or take. It's not a huge room, but it'll work. A couple chairs, little, you know, pull-out couch or futon or something like that, and I think it'll be pretty good. Now, I incorporated the lumber. I know it's a little dark. The lumber that I milled, the other videos that I showed when I was milling lumber, I incorporated those in here. So there's one post that you'll be able to see once even the drywall's up, and then there's a header right here that you'll be able to see. I'm going to put linseed oil on all that just to brighten it up and clean it up and preserve it. Then another one at the bottom on that one. Another one above this door, right? Another one above that window. And then another one below that window. And you'll be able to see all that. And the other thing I'm doing is this shelving. And if you can see this, but I have a couple pieces of that pine from whenever I milled the brace that's underneath here. That's the pieces that were cut off. So again, linseed oil. Gonna make a shelving unit. I got one there, and I got one here. And there's also gonna be a longer one that I'm thinking I might put along that wall for, like, you know, knick-knack stuff, or, you know, what have you, like, you know, just, it'll be above the steps, so like it'll be out of the way. So yeah, I'm thinking a couple of sconces for lights, sconce on that wall, sconce on this wall, then another one on that wall. And that's pretty much the layout. It's a small area, but once it's said and done, I think it's really gonna pop for the stuff that I'm gonna try to do to it. In the beginning, for now, I'm just gonna paint this floor. I'm just gonna put, you know, regular floor paint on this floor. And then I'm gonna stain the ceiling. This is all gonna be seen, like, I gotta add something in the middle here where those seams are at for the T11 that's up on the ceiling. But I'm gonna stain that. I'm gonna stain those 4x6s. I'm gonna probably give it a, I don't know, maybe a gun stock. I'm thinking maybe that type of color for the ceiling. And paint the floor. And I'm painting the floor for just now because we have plans on possibly getting a lumber mill. And with that lumber mill, I think I may make a whole bunch of maybe like 1x out of the hardwood that we have up here, because a lot of those trees still got to come down, because that's actually where we're gonna, once I clean that out, that's actually where we're gonna do some of the crops for planting. And I have a lot, there's maple, oak, and dark walnut in those right there. So thinking about actually, you know, making flooring for in here with that. But that's all stuff, you know, future stuff. You know, for now the paint will work just fine. It won't be no big deal. But that's like, you know, when we get to that point, that's probably what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I actually forgot to mention anything or not, but that's pretty much the plan for now. It's not 100% finished, obviously, but it's weather tight, you know, which it'll get us through a couple of weeks of, you know, if it rains or whatever, or what have you, you know, until I can get back up here to do some stuff full time again. You know, I need another couple of weeks to really get it all squared away. What I'm thinking for the outside though is I'm gonna match that chicken coop down there. I like the way that turned out. So like a copper for the walls, and then trim and roof all in black with white windows. I mean, I kind of like the way that looked, and I dig the idea of matching the buildings. So I'm gonna match that with this one, and then I'm also going to do that carport the same way. We're gonna enclose that carport to make it sort of like a garage almost. So because of that, I'm gonna have to buy the metal for it anyway. So what I'm gonna do is do the same thing, match it. Now I'm gonna put the black roof and black trim and copper walls, and then we'll figure out what to do with a door for that and whatever. But yeah, so that's where we're at today. There's always really nice sunsets up here, if you can like the pink and the orange, blue. Like I said, I wanted to make this little kind of progress report because, the wife goes in for her C-section tomorrow, and God willing, everything goes good, and our baby girl will be here tomorrow. Her name's going to be Hope Marie Stack. She's going to be born August 31st. So, this was the date that we had picked because of the C-section to get this building buttoned up as good as we could as far as weather, which I think we achieved that goal. I think we got there. I don't have to worry about any kind of damage to anything. So, yeah. Well, let me know what you guys think. Anybody, if you like it, do you hate it? Anything suggestion-wise that you think maybe I should do going forward? I'm all in for suggestions. See that stain don't look. It looks like it's starting to take its look now. So, anyway, I'm open for suggestions. If people think that they have any good ideas on stuff we can do going forward, but I like it. I think it's going to serve its function, and I think it's going to actually be nice. I think it's actually going to turn out to look pretty good. I like the deck. It'll be nice, the sliding glass door there. I picture myself kind of sitting here when we're up here in a chair, and then I can see if people are coming up the driveway or if there's anybody out this way. Oh, one more thing, this is what I almost might have forgot. So the solar system, this is what we have hooked up. So this is the inverter that I got, Nature's Power, and the batteries are in here. This might be really hard to see. No. Yeah. Let me see here. There we go. Okay. Batteries are in there. There's only 4 of them, but these things, this little setup has been working extremely well. I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised. It did exactly what it was supposed to do with the pump, and now because we're going to be switching this system to a more permanent system on the inside. I don't exactly need that right now, but I figure I use it for the lighting and to charge the battery. So just to show you, like, I've been charging these almost all day. Like, I'm switching. I have 3 of these batteries, and I'm switching between them to do different things. Sawzall, the drill, the impact, switching between them and charging them. So there's one of these that are charging almost all day, and then this is the little speaker that I use with the Bluetooth when I'm listening to stuff. And then I'm even, charging my phone all at the same time. And I do that. I'm up here for 6 to 10 hours every day for the last, however long. And it's been working. Like, the batteries have not died from this solar setup. And this is, like I said, the smaller setup. I was a little anxious about, like, when is it going to die or if it's going to die. But it's been working. I mean, and, it takes a little oomph, to fill these up. Like, it's a constant draw, and they're not small batteries. So, yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. So, the panels are up there. I only got 2 of them. Wires come down. They go inside. Come down to the charge controller, which is that little thing right there. And it says that it's charging. And then when it's fully charged, that green light will come on. When I'm not using anything else, if I give it about a half a day of constant sunlight, those batteries will stay charged. If I'm using it, for anything, it turns off right away because it's not fully charged. But it's not died yet. So anyway, jumping them out the correct way, is helpful. Series or parallel, depending on what you're doing. Um, which I can get into that if anybody has any actual questions. And this is a, like I said, very temporary setup, but very good. It actually works really well. So um, if you guys have questions about this setup and or what I'm planning on doing, feel free to ask. I'll answer it the best I can, but I'm also going to do another video in detail whenever I get to the 30 amp setup, the more permanent one that we're going to be using. So yeah, that'll be something to look forward to if you are curious. Then, like I said, it goes from the batteries to the inverter, takes it from AC to DC, and then we can just run our regular lights. So that green cord is the one I was using. It's got 3 outlets on it, so like that's for like the charging and stuff. And then that orange cord I ran down here earlier today just to get those lights on, because it's going to be important to get the power for the lights and stuff like that. At least even for test runs, because now I know, now I know that it's more than sufficient. Again, with the floor, because it's still drying, it's getting there. Like, it's getting that look that I think it was supposed to. And then once you put the glossy sealer on the top, it'll really make it kind of pop, So yeah, glad I remembered that solar thing, because I'm actually really surprised and happy that that worked, that it's working, because it just tells me that that bigger system, especially with double the amount of batteries, is something I'm not going to have to worry about. Once them batteries are full and it's getting sun, even on them overcast days, it'll get enough of a charge to keep it going, and we won't have to worry about like conserving, what are we using or what are we charging. We'll be able to rock up here. So yeah, that's a really good thing. Solar's come a long way. I'm a big advocate for it. I mean, if you're trying to go off grid, like what the idea for this place was, I mean, that's the way to go. That is the way to go. Get solar, get your own rainwater, and figure out how to keep everything clean and purified as far as water, and you'll be good to go. Anyway, I hope I didn't ramble too much. I hope this was interesting to somebody. But again, it's a progress report and it's a milestone. My baby girl Hope will be here tomorrow. Keep us in your prayers. You guys have a good day.